Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
Well, hopefully you had a great second half, I should say halftime show. I don't know what the halftime show was, but we had the second half of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show coming up. That's right. Every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., we get to share with you need to know, want to know, and should know about real estate and finance. And Cyndi Lesinski with Cyndi Lesinski and Associates with John Hart Real Estate has been sharing some great information. Before I forget, Cyndi, how can they get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Best way to get a hold of me is calling 661-510-5516. Best way to remember that is 661-510, or actually my way of saying to remember it is I couldn't drive 55 when I was 16.
55, 16?
I know it's weird, but I do have some weirdness.
We're gonna keep the other jobs to Mark.
Right. Okay. So yes,
we'll stick with real estate.
I'll stick with real estate, and we'll let Mark Eddy, my husband, stick with the comedy.
You know what? Why don't we play with that a little bit? Because what's cool is you just did a show just last week.
Yes.
With Mark, and he's a national comedian, and he's got a huge event coming up that you're heavily involved in. Why don't we dive into that?
Yeah, you know what? I am very blessed to have one of the best husbands that supports me in my business, and
that's important.
It is, and I support him with what he does, and he actually jokes that yes, I do support him because he's a comedian, but actually he's a working comedian, travels internationally. And yet he's able to stay home quite a bit and walk our dog and have coffee every morning with his friends. And why am I not joining his world?
Yeah, I saw that when
all of a sudden I'm like,
Starbucks,
wait
he's
a
just
minute.
chilling out.
He just chills all the time.
I wish I was funnier. I could switch jobs.
But I'm a workaholic and I love real estate.
You do.
So
no doubt about it.
It's fabulous that I have found a career that I really enjoy helping people, coming from the world of social work, of which I did for 15 years working with foster families and helping people with life decisions. So now I do that in the world of real estate. But I still like to get back to my roots at times, and I get involved in different projects throughout the year doing fundraisers. And one of the biggest fundraisers I do is with Scotty Medlock and Robbie Krieger from The Doors. It's the Medlock Krieger Golf Tournament concert. And that's going to be held at the end of August in the Moore Park area. And
do they have to whisper when they play, though?
They do not. Thankfully, because the concert is fabulous. We'll be having many special guests that will be attending, including Jack Black.
He's no fun at all.
Sebastian Bach, and just so many fabulous entertainers. Last year, we raised over $100,000.
Nicely done, and that's not easy to do. I mean, it always sounds like, oh, we raised 100.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do. You do a lot of charity events where you raise 8 and you did good.
Yes, 8, 10, 20,000 even is fabulous. So it's one of the most well-known golf tournament events around, and we support St. Jude's Children's Hospital, so we have an excellent cause, and really looking forward to that at the end of August. So a lot of planning goes into this event, but very excited to share more. And the listeners can also check me out on Facebook, Cyndi Lesinski, Facebook, and I'll be sharing a lot of information about that charity event on Facebook.
All right, spell the last name just in case they can't.
Well, and then also the first name because, of course, I have to flip-flop the Y and I.
Yeah, that's
so
your Y and I.
So it's Cyndi, Cyndi, Lesinski, Lesinski.
All right. How'd they get a hold of you again, too?
661-510-5516.
Okay. So we promised you also that Cyndi's going to share with you some ways that she's helping her. I mean, you're just crushing. You're getting a ton of listings right now for a reason. You're doing a great job getting top dollar. All your deals are going through like smooth as silk. You have a system to help your sellers get top dollars. And part of it, a lot of people think it's putting a sign in, but your connections and your marketing and your negotiation skills and knowledge about the properties and the tracks you're working really sets you apart from the competition, without a
Well,
doubt.
it makes a difference to be aware of the areas. So just starting from the beginning of knowing the neighborhoods and doing the proper research and really advising the sellers as to what their best sales price should be, and giving a range of that. We think it's between, say, $500 to $520. $520,000 may be the list price, or $500,000 may be the list price. Depending on the neighborhood, we may recommend, if the last one sold at $520, we may recommend a list price of $515, which will create more energy, more activity, and get multiple offers in order to
Create a
sell the
frenzy.
property. Yes.
See, hopefully you heard that, because you're like, wait a minute, why would I list my home for less than what the other home sold for? Everybody wants to sell their home for top dollar. Like, and a lot of the faux pas we see out there is like, okay, it sold for $520, I'm going to list mine for $540. I'm just going to try to get more money. But the problem is there's a statistical fact that once you put your price higher than other price points, you actually eliminate 60 to 90% of your buyers.
Correct.
Because why would the buyers go after your home if they can buy one for less? So
Yes.
I love your strategy, because we've seen it work on multiple occasions where you create a frenzy. You get more people vying for that same property because you have more buyers trying to get it, and they create basically a bidding war for the property and end up raising the price anyways.
Correct. Now, in doing that, I'm not wanting to list the property way under market value
Of course not.
and get 5 to 10 offers. I want to price it right to make sure that we can at least secure the one best offer, but look at having the opportunity to get 2 or 3 offers in on a property, so that then we can negotiate the best terms and conditions, because the highest price is not always the best offer. And that is the key thing that we have to educate the consumer on, is really reviewing that aspect of things, because it does matter as far as terms and conditions. Is it a 30-day escrow or a 45-day escrow? Do they have a contingency of sale of another property?
Huge.
How long do they want to do home inspections? Are they looking at 17 days, or are they efficient buyers and buyers agents that will do their inspections in 10 days?
Are they
Those
using
are all
an out of
factors.
area lender?
Right.
You guys love those, huh?
Well, and it's most important that the lender is a trusted lender.
Mm-hmm.
So, we of course prefer that they're using don&gino, but if it is a lender that is a trusted lender, and we do the research and find out, okay, this lender has done their due diligence and has properly secured this buyer, and that this buyer can achieve getting that loan, we're good with that. But we do prefer that they are working with a lender we know and trust, which would be, of course, don&gino.
See, I like how you said that. It just comes out so smooth and easy. All right, so again, it is imperative that the steps are taken correctly with a top real estate professional that is well respected, knows the area. But you also, Cyndi, the other piece that you got to understand is, one, Cyndi's experienced enough. She's got a great team. She's going to catch some of those pitfalls that you don't even know could possibly come. She knows what's coming and can protect you from it. If they do come, and it does happen in our industry, if you don't have a good team behind you and you don't have experience, when those pitfalls come, they don't know how to handle them, and you do. You just dive right in.
Well,
and
you
get her
have to
done.
be a problem solver. As a
Right.
realtor, we wear various hats, and negotiation is one. And so a lot of people look at it as are you a great negotiator? Yes, I am. Well, does that mean negotiating at the beginning, middle, or end of the transaction? For myself and my team, we negotiate throughout the entire transaction. Whenever you have a request for repairs, you need to know how to negotiate that request for repairs so that it doesn't cause the escrow process to halt. More known as bomb. Can we say bomb on the radio? I don't know. That's a back on market, just in case, We don't want to go there.
Yeah, you're not going to any flights soon, are you?
Right. No, but I think our people watching us from Seattle are. So, but you want to make sure you negotiate through the entire process to have a smooth transaction, where when there are bumps in the road, The consumers do not feel those bumps, that we explain things and guide them through. Here's what your options are. This is what we've run into. Here's what your options are. If we run into an appraisal value, here's what the options are to work through that appraisal value. If you run into an issue with a termite inspection being much larger than what was expected, here's what we can do. We have these different options. So you have to come up with options to make the consumers feel comfortable, the home seller as well as the buyer. So it's not, a lot of times agents and consumers will look at it, it's sellers against the buyers or buyers against the sellers. Once we have an accepted offer, we're all in this together. We all have a mutual agreement that we want to close this escrow, that the sellers want to sell, the buyers want to buy. What can we all do cooperatively to work together to make the process smooth?
To make sure that the goals are accomplished for both sides. Very
Yes.
nice. I like how calm and cool and that you just laid that out. So, all right. When we come back, we're gonna go over some more great information about how to be successful in the real estate market today from Cyndi Lesinski and Associates with John Hart Real Estate. So you don't want to go away. One more segment coming up on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Check us out at don&gino.com.